I couldn't tell you how many. I would have to look it up. I don't know.
I was asking Ruth if the economy was the major factor in the slowdown, and that's when we've got to talking about there are other reasons for it besides just a slow economy at this point.
Fox Run, for example, was initially the plat started, I think, in mid-1980, and the last of the final plats was just recorded a few years ago. So, I mean, that took over 20 years. And so there was definitely not a slowdown in the national economy during those years because that was probably when we were at record years in our country in general. So, yes, the national economy has affected it, but no, it is not the only reason. It's just whenever you deal with big developments, it's going to take a while.
Questions? Have a motion?
I'll move for approval.
Second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Number 7, discussion and public hearing on the annual review and approval of the concept plan for Everett Hills subdivision, Everett Road, zoned R-1 and OSR.
This is the same type of situation in that it is the annual reapproval. This one is slightly different because this one has gone into bankruptcy. But a fair amount of the infrastructure has already been installed, and folks, the bank is marketing it for a developer to pick it up where the last folks left off with it. So it's just a reapproval for, yes, this is what's kind of been built out there, but we do not have a final plat that's been recorded for it. So it does include walking trails and green.
Are we
I knew somebody was going to say that.
We didn't get that on recording.
She needed to get that.
Are we likely to see this come back for changes in the future if something gets moving on it?
Not really sure. Fairly doubt it because of the amount of infrastructure that has already been constructed. This area up in here has been graded, but not actually, the roads have not been built, whereas down here, the roads have been built, and this is where the grading has occurred but hasn't been constructed. Like the trail that comes around like this, the walking trail, let me do that with a different color so you can see it. The trail that comes along like this and along up through Everett Road, and it has been graded. There was rock put on it, but probably will have to be redone. But the skeleton is there, so that's why we really don't expect it to change much. If somebody different came in and had a different idea.
No portion of it whatsoever is finished, is that correct?
Well, the roads are built. We got a gate at the entrance to keep folks from entering at this point. We had to cash the letter of credit, and we put out a contract, and it was restabilized. Yes, the erosion was a problem, and we are keeping an eye on it.
Questions? Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the concept plan.
Second? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 8, discussion and public hearing of a revision to the site plan of the Farragut Public Market, 11221 Outlet Drive, parcel 23.02, tax map 131, zone C2 RW, approximately 15.435 acres, to amend the building elevation. Kodak Properties and Danny Kirby, applicant.
The revised elevations that were approved in July of 2010. That elevation, the color didn't turn out very well on this overhead, but that was, if you recall, that was a tan color that we talked about last July. And Mr. Kirby is here to answer any questions for you, but this is what they are proposing. This kind of coincides with, they're putting together their sign plan, and they kind of revised accordingly to make the package that they were looking for. Oh, Jim Nixon can speak rather than Danny.
Hi, I'm Jim Nixon. Need my address?
Better get it again, Jim. We might want to catch up with you.
222 Lake Crest, Lenore City. We have a marketing package that we did not have in July, and we got into the colors and providers, and we're not changing, really the elevation to me denotes, we're changing something on the front. We're not changing anything but the color. Nothing else has changed. The footprint of the arch in the front is the reduced one, the one that was approved in July. The shapes are all the same. The colors just didn't match what was available in the marketplace. The exact color that we had on the last one was a little different than the provider could provide. So we came up with this marketing package, and we believe it better represents what we're trying to do there. We're well under construction. We're about 30 days behind, but we intend to open in around May 1, May 6, somewhere right in there, first week of May. And we had anticipated opening in early April. We're not going to make that. A lot of problems in the winter. We were not able to pave it in the winter, and it was just too wet, too cold, and when it got warm enough, it was too wet, and when it got cold, it was frozen. And we're behind, and when we presented this to Ruth the other day, I think she liked it well enough that we jumped on this agenda so that it would really help us if we could go ahead and put that up and try to get on with it to open. Anybody interested in a little update or not?
And I'm looking here at a copy that you of the marketing, and I like how you color coordinate, I guess you'd say.
We already have billboards up. We have other billboards that have been contracted. This will be heavily advertised. We're going to have a what I call a trickle open or a slow open, and then we're going to have a grand opening. And at the grand opening, we hope to have the various mayors and elected officials, and I can't say all who will be there, but I think it'll be very well attended. I think the press will be there, and I think Farragut will be proud of it.
Like the red roof in Pigeon Forge red?
Like a rust.
A rust red, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the bright
Danny, what's the
red.
exact name of it?
Okay.
Brick red. It's
So it's not-
an earth tone, believe it or not. It's an earth tone. It's not a bright, shiny thing.
So it's not like the Pigeon Forge red
No.
roof thing, okay.
No.
Certainly looks red in the rendering.
Yeah.
Well, it is. It's a brick
But
red.
it's a
But, no,
toned
there's a
down
difference between
earth red.
A bright red metal roof and
Yeah.
It's not a bright red metal roof.
good.
I got to ask you one question, though.
What is it?
I mean, this is going from Farragut Public Market
Yeah.
to Turkey Creek Public Market. Now, we had a lot of discussion in the front end about the word flea.
Yes,
Now it's flea and farmer's market.
that's a piece
Farragut's
of advertising.
disappeared and flea has jumped in, so.
Well, we
Can
also
you
have,
explain a little bit about that?
yes, we also have Turkey Creek Public Market.
That's what I said, yeah.
And that's what we intend to call it. And that piece of advertising on the bottom advertises some of the things that we're going to call it in our advertising, which we have set up. And we have discussed whether it was going to be called a flea market or not, and that's not in the title, and we don't intend for it to be in the title. But there will be elements of a flea market, if you want to call it that, there. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's at the bottom. Flea market and farmer's market, right? Yeah. That's what it is.
I don't think you answered my question.
Okay.
It's evolved from Farragut farmer's market, public market, to Turkey Creek Public Market, flea and farmer's market.
Okay.
So is that
Yes.
just part of your
Yes, that's if you
focus
want.
group? Or I mean, can you elaborate on how it's,
If you want to
gotten
call
away
that
from some of the themes we talked about early on? I mean, we've downsized, changed the facade, now we're changing the colors, now we're changing the name. I don't
if you
understand a
want
little bit more about that, Jim.
Well, let me ask a question that relates to that. Since the Turkey Creek is in there, will your organization that manages Turkey Creek itself be more involved with this?
The John Turley, who is chief manager of Turkey Creek Land Partners, is a partner in this project.
You'll be overseeing a lot of this.
We will be involved in it. That is correct.
Okay, good.
And to answer your question, yes, there has been an evolution of discussions about what it's going to be called, and we have promoted and will continue to promote the fact that it is a Farragut facility, and the Turkey Creek is a regional destination, and that's why that name was an evolution. And the fact that we did not want to heavily advertise the part that it would have elements of a flea market, as we put that at the bottom, and along with the fact that it's going to be a farmer's market. And we do.
My question wasn't a negative. I just wanted to understand. I mean, I can see the branding of trying to play off Turkey Creek and a destination people identify there too.
Yes.
And where the area is and other thing, but just kind of understand a little bit the evolution that you've gone through to focus that, and maybe any tie to the discussions you've had with the economic development group that's, in Farragut too.
We have put together this marketing brochure. We'll have multiple billboards on Interstate 75 and Interstate 40, both east, west, north, and south of town. We will bring, I think, quite a bit of traffic to the town of Farragut that will be at this facility, that will be coming to this facility. And hopefully we'll open with it full or nearly full. The interest is really high right now. Did I answer then? Yeah. Okay, thank you, Ed.
Let me suggest that maybe you contemplate the name Turkey Creek Public Market at Farragut.
Okay. I'll pass that on to Charlie. Charlie could not be here tonight. Charlie Atchley, he's had an operation for a detached retina, and he could not attend tonight.
I think the reason they're concerned is because that very first one we had, everybody, was talking about, is this a flea market? And they said, no, it's not a flea market. And then that's probably, I didn't even notice that.
Well,
Very
and
nice.
I'd like to see the name of Farragut in there, just like the mayor. I mean,
I
I like
what
Turkey
you-
Creek to.
I do too.
Because people identify with that, but Farragut,
And we discussed at length what it was going to be called,
suggestion there,
as
Ed.
some of you were not on the commission then, way back when, I guess, when we were discussing it. And at that point, it was determined, I think, that this would not be called a flea market per
Right.
se. And this is going to, the name has evolved to Turkey Creek Public Market, and that's what we'd like to call it.
Mayor, what did you say?
At
The
Farragut.
name? Yeah.
Farragut.
Turkey Creek Public Market at Farragut.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass that on to them.
We like that.